Welcome to the call, everyone. My name is Dr. Curt and I'll be going live here in just a second. We're just waiting for it to live stream onto Facebook. Katie's joined us. She's a co-host with the call tonight. And, thanks for joining us, everyone. And thanks for being here. Katie, thanks for being with me again this week.
Thank you, Dr. Curt. How are you today?
I'm doing excellent. Thanks for asking. Are you going to turn your video on?
Yes, I am. 2 ticks. I'm just trying to get sorted here. We were just running a bit behind. 2 ticks. Hang on. I'm missing a mouse. Yep. So you want to just chat for a second? I'm just going to grab
You
my
bet.
mouse.
You bet. Well, everyone, thanks for joining us today. My name is Dr. Curt. We've got Katie on the call. Last week, we started a call. We really wanted to talk about, not just our favorite products, but we want to talk about what products do we take on a daily basis. Why do we take the products? We want to share that because we want to show you that we're not just talking about these products. We actually, we're products of the product. And when you do network marketing, you really want to become a product of the product. You want to take the same products that you're promoting. You want to take the same products that you're telling other people to take. If you don't take your products, you want to at least have a little bit of knowledge about them. Like when I talk to somebody who's diabetic, I'm not diabetic, but I know which products are going to be good for people who have diabetes. If somebody has the C word, I know which products are good for helping boost the immune system. We can't say that it cures, treats, anything like that, So we're careful on what we say. We don't want to make any medical claims. So, that's my disclaimer on this. From this point on, for the next half hour, as we talk about these different nutritional products, anything like that, we're not making any medical claims. We're not alluding to the fact that it cures, treats, or anything like that. We're just basically saying that, hey, look, we're going to optimize your immune system. We're going to optimize your function of your brain. We're going to optimize your cardiovascular system. And we're going to support the body in its quest to keep you healthy. And we do that with nutrition. And let's face it, I know a lot about nutrition, and I still take vitamins. So when somebody tells me, they say, oh, I don't take any of that stuff. That's all a bunch of hooey. I had a guy tell me that just last week. One of my best friends, he was telling me, he said, yeah, I don't take any of that stuff. He says, I just eat right. And I said, oh, right. Okay. Because if anybody knows how to eat right, it probably would be me. I'm a doctor. I've studied this stuff. I've studied the nutrition. I still take 20 some nutritional products every single day, high potency nutritional products, because I know that I'm not getting what I need. I'm not getting adequate levels from my nutritional products. On top of that, here's something else that I know. Science has evolved to a point to where we know that we can reverse the aging process. We can send it back a little bit. And I had a little bit of an argument with my friend last week on it. He said, "Oh no, you can't do that." He said, "Where's the science on it? Where's the science on it?" I said, "Well, and I started talking, and he interrupted me, and he said that you get all that science from your fake news, And I said, well, actually, it comes from Harvard. David Sinclair has done a lot of work on it. Aubrey de Grey has done a lot of work on it, and so it's in the medical journals. It's in the peer-reviewed medical journals. So we're not just making this stuff up, Katie. We're not just making this stuff up.
That's right. It's so important just to be informed. And I think if you're not paying any attention to nutrition, then you're not really looking after your health. And if you don't do some investigation into vitamins and minerals, again, I think just hoping that your genetics are going to be good enough. And you know what? Sometimes they are for some people, but we're seeing less and less of that these days, I believe, because of genetic mutations. Environment is more messed up than it used to be. Our food supply is not what it used to be. So, the air pollution, everything. So there's more likely that, you're probably going to have some genetic issues going on, especially in terms of being able to absorb vitamins and minerals. But even if you don't have those, getting them all from your food, do you want to risk that? I mean, the thing is, a deficiency. Explain to people on the call what happens if you have a vitamin or mineral deficiency long enough.
Well, the thing about it is that vitamin deficiencies, it's not going to be like, oh, all of a sudden you're going to die, right? If I have a folic acid, a folate deficiency, I mean, all of a sudden I'm not going to die or anything like that. And I think that's the problem with it, is that a lot of people start to go, well, I cut back, I quit taking that product, I didn't feel any worse. Well,
right.
What we want to look at is that we want to look at the fact that when you get to be older, when you get to be in your last 10 to 20 years of your life, that last 20% of your life, that's when those deficiencies that you had years ago really start to play a factor, because now all of a sudden you've got more cells that have gone into senescence. You've got more cells that are damaged. And it might not be like severe damage, and it might not be that they're dead, but it might be that they're dying. And and they say that after the age of 60, 65, somewhere about, I'm 60 now, I just turned 60 a month ago, and in the next 5 years, the things that I don't get fixed are probably the things that are going to cause me to have health problems down the road. Right. And that's where the deficiencies play a part. You might not notice anything, but you might notice that you have more problems with allergies. You might have, you get sick more often. You might have high cholesterol. You might have increased risk of infections. You might have increased risk of cancer. All these things, Kate.
That's right. And it's like what you said. I've got a friend that has been running around with a severe iodine deficiency for most of her life, and she would know that too, because, or she didn't know that, but her parents had, or her mother had, an issue with a goiter, and so there's an indication there that maybe if your mum had something like that, you should probably check it out too. But anyway, she finally sort of found out, and she's been having this severe, and I don't mean moderate, I mean severe, it couldn't be any more severe, iodine issue. And the thing is, it wasn't so much of a bother when she was younger. She could still function with that deficiency, but now that she's older, she's actually, in bed most of the time.
Wow. Yeah. And who wants to spend any time in bed? I don't care how old you are. My mom is 84. My dad is going to be 85 or 8. I think my mom's actually only 83. Sorry, Mom. I aged you 1 year, but she won't listen to the call anyhow. So, but because of some arthritis, it's laid her up and things like that. Had we known some of the things that we know now, had we known that 40 years ago, we might have been able to prevent that. I don't know. I mean, I can't make that claim because I don't have a crystal ball. I can't, look back, but I can say that, yeah, I mean, they know now that if your diet is high in omega-6 and low in omega-3, you're going to have more chronic low-grade inflammation. What I mean by that is that you're a ticking time bomb. You've got just a little bit of inflammation, not enough to make you really like sick, like you're not going to have a heart attack or anything like that. But what it does, it causes you to have chronic aches and pains, like you go, oh, my knee is sore. Oh, my shoulder's sore. Things like that, and it might increase your risk, like we heard a lot about this cytokine storm with COVID and all this stuff, that you're going to have increased risk of this cytokine storm, and which makes it so you have a poor response to COVID and other viral infections. Yeah.
So it's just a fascinating topic. We love talking about this. I guess the audience can tell. And we've got Ian. He's I did talk to Ian last night and invited him to join us on the panel and talk about his favorite product as well. So why don't we jump into that? Do you want to bring Ian on?
I'm doing that right now. There we go.
Ian's going to talk about his most life-changing Sisel product, and I've
Hang
just
on.
dropped my phone, so I'm going to need to bend down and pick it up. I've got some notes on it.
Okay, there, we got Ian on. Ian, you'll have to unmute yourself, and then you can turn your camera on.
There he is.
Hey, Geurt, do you want to join us too? I see that Geurt, you're there, and Roz, do you want to join us? Let's have a party.
Sounds good to me.
Ha. So Ian, why don't you share with us? Last week Katie and I shared, that we take the Triangle of Life, we take the age pill, we take the body shield, we take the brain vitality, things like that, and we kind of explained why we take all these different products that we do. Why don't you take over, and while you're doing that, I'm going to bring Geurt and Rosalind over to the panel, even if they don't want to be. They're going to be on the panel.
It's a party. Okay. Thank you, Curt, and good morning to both of you, or good evening to you, Curt. One of my favorite products that I use it daily is a Sisel product called For Restore. And one of the reasons that I have this product, I take it every day, is because I've suffered in my latter years with hypertension or high blood pressure. And having taken medical or pharmaceutical stuff for quite a while, and some of the side effects for me were a little bit outrageous. You just couldn't have them going as they were. The side effects really prevent you from doing lots of things. Anyway, when Tom brought this For Restore out, I did a little bit of I do my research a fair bit, and anyway, I found that some of the ingredients of it were really able to increase the nitric oxide within your bloodstream. And so I started to take it, and I couldn't believe the results. It was, and I think I did a presentation a while back with I graphed my blood pressure results over the time. Now, today, like I take it two times a day. I take 3 and 3. That's for me. Anyway, it drops my blood pressure down from a fairly, say, 150s over 100 down to a normal range, which is down around about 130, 128, down over to about 87 or anything like that. So for me, that's a phenomenal plus for me. The other thing that I take it for too is that I also, you see I'm wearing glasses, so I actually have issues with, as my mother had glaucoma, so I really want to prevent glaucoma. So glaucoma is also about having pressure within the eye caused by high blood pressure or hypertension. So that also helps the eye. It also has another effect for me. I actually had, I'm going back a bit of history here, but I've also had cancer, and if I can use that word, I had it years ago, and I had a tumor in the kidney, and of which I lost a kidney. So I'm very conscious of what affects the kidneys as well. Now, nitrous oxide has a bearing in all parts of the body from what I've read. And so it also helps and regulates some of the kidney functions as well. So for me, nitrous oxide has been an absolute plus. Now, nitrous oxide, the body produces it, but as we get older, and in my age group, it tends to diminish by quite a high percentage. So you cannot get away without having some sort of, either green leafy vegetables or some nutritional product that actually helps the body boost it a little. So the other aspect of it is that you also understand that we talked about, I think Katie and talked about last week, the age pill, which is one of her favorite products, I think. And lipofusion and glycation also restrict the amount of nitrous oxide that you can have in your cells. So the other thing that I take with this is the age pill. I have to add that in as well. So the age pill allows you to clean up the cell, if I can use that term, which allows nitrous oxide or nitric oxide to do its job. And so that's pretty much my story in a pretty simple way at the moment. So there you go.
Fantastic.
Thanks, Ian. Thanks for sharing that. And two great products that I take as well. I didn't realize until you just said it that the nitric oxide really helps with the kidney. I remember when my dad got diagnosed, he had a form of cancer. It's a form of lymphoma, and called Waldenstrom syndrome, and it really affects the kidneys. And that's about when Tom, when we came out with Full Restore, and I put Dad on it. And again, I can't make any medical claims, but they said that he was sitting at about 30% of kidney function. They said that he was actually probably by the end of that year, which was about a decade ago, they said that that he was going to probably need dialysis. And after we put him on Full Restore, again, not making any medical claims. I don't think it has anything to do with it. It probably has nothing to do with it. But Dad's kidney function, they say now his kidney functions like a 30-year-old.
Wow.
Brilliant.
Right. So I didn't realize that. Thanks for sharing that, Ian. I appreciate that. Geurt, unmute yourself. You're part of the panel. You're part of this party. And I know you're unprepared. You don't have anything written in front of you, but
it doesn't bother me.
It doesn't bother you. Great. Tell us a little bit about, what products do you just like? They're on your list of, I'm never going to miss these products ever, ever, ever. I'm never going to skip them.
Oh, the age pill. Quite a few months ago, I had one of my granddaughters say to me, "Oh, your hair looks a lot thicker." So go figure.
Yeah, fantastic.
That's on the age pill. Another thing, it was interesting about the glaucoma issue. My wife's father, Zena's father, had glaucoma, and for that reason, we take the vision
Vital Vision
capsules, the Vital Vision ones, and I'm very keen on that. And I mean, we're both very old, but look very young, and we don't. I wear glasses to read. I'm a fast reader, and if I don't wear glasses, I plod along reading, and it annoys me. But I've only got about one vision, and and she's the same. And I reckon our eyes are good because of these eye tablets that we've been taking.
Yeah.
And obviously will counter any potential for glaucoma issues in the eyes as well. What else? Gosh, there's all of it. I like the Restore as well, Ian. It's a good product. I take it. I reckon I have good kidney function anyway, but I think it must help. What else? There is Avenger. Avenger is fantastic. I've always got a couple of bottles in store. Children come around and we get a few sniffles and sniggles and tickles in the throat. Take these, and they make a difference within half an hour. That's
wow.
They do. Carry on.
Oh no, I was going to say, you mentioned the product Vital Vision there, Geurt, and I love that product too. That was one of the products I wanted to talk about today too, because I heard Tom say, just because you've got 20/20 vision or great vision doesn't mean you shouldn't take it. If anything, he said it will support you to help your body maintain that continued good vision into your older age. And I've got the ingredients here, and I was just looking at some of the ingredients in there. You've got the Aztec marigold flower extract, bilberry, you've got eye bright, you've got, there's another one in there I can't pronounce. It's hema back. Do you know which one it is, Curt?
I know what you're talking about. I can't think of it without reading it.
Yeah, hematococcus. I can't pronounce it. It's got a long name, but it's got a number of herbal extracts in it. And of course, then it's got the key vitamins in there and one mineral for eye health. So your A, C, and E are really critical for your eye health. And, if you're running around with a deficiency in A most of your life, then you've got glasses, there'll be, in my opinion, a relationship going on there with that deficiency. So those are important nutrients that you want to keep up. So I love that product too, Curt. And the other thing that really got me, this was the clincher. Tom said, underneath the eyes, people get eye bags, and he said there's fatty tissue that cushions the eye in its socket, and it sits underneath the eye. And he says when that starts to diminish, you get more eye bags. He said the ingredients in that actually help to support also the fatty tissue surrounding the eye and the cushioning of the socket, so that you've got better eyes visually as well.
Yeah.
There you
So
go.
I
There's
thought, I'll
another
take
thing
a
about
price.
eyes as well, and that is cataracts.
Yes.
So many people get cataracts, and I think it's a deficiency of minerals, vitamins, and these specific things for the eye as well. I mean, we have no cataract problems, but all the time I come across people who say, "Oh, I've just had a cataract removed and replaced," and all this sort of thing, and it goes on all the time.
Yeah.
So for that issue alone, I think we need to look after our eyes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. Curt, did you want to talk about, I see you just turned your camera off. That's all right. I'll wait for you to come back. So the other product, so last week, we talked about a number of products. I can't remember if we touched on the influence. I think we might have, and Curt was talking about that earlier today with me. But influence is another great product I like to have in the cupboard. I like this product in the Sisel range because it's very well priced. It's quite inexpensive for what you're getting. And the ingredients in the influence obviously support the immune system. So if we look at those ingredients, I mean, if you have a look at some of the Sisel supplements, try and break down the ingredients, and then try and buy those individually, it actually works out to be a tremendous amount of money. You've got the elderberry in there, you've got turmeric in there, you've got star anise, the grape extracts. So it's got some resveratrol in there. It's got some Japanese bark extract, quercetin in there, vitamin D, zinc, selenium. It's got a little bit of selenium. That's really, really important for immune health. That goes, as a cofactor for thyroid function along with the iodine. And so that product is a great product to have on hand. I've always got a few bottles, and I actually, since the whole thing, what's going on in our environment and worldwide, and everyone knows what I'm talking about, I've been taking, one of those a day just as a support for my immune system on an ongoing basis. So I love the influence as well. So that was another one of my favorite products. And what do you think of that one there, Geurt? You were kind of agreeing with me with that one.
Oh yes, no, definitely. But I home in on the selenium factor, because here in New Zealand, selenium is very devoid in the soils, and therefore, and produce that's grown on it. So in terms of New Zealand and possibly a few other countries, selenium as a supplement is very important.
Definitely. And so, Curt, what else do you have on your list of your favorites there?
Well, I was just going to add, you guys were talking about vision, and I just was starting to think back, back when the age pill was introduced. I was wearing reading glasses. I always had to wear reading glasses, and I couldn't read. I mean, if I took a piece of paper and I had to read some small print on it, I had to put my reading glasses on, and it was probably about 6 months after the age pill was introduced, I realized that I wasn't wearing my reading glasses anymore. In fact, I couldn't even find them. They were gone. I just never used them. And so I haven't used reading glasses since then. And, but my eyes, they continued to get like a little bit of a blurry, like they've got fatigued. But I noticed, Katie, and I'm going to point this out to you, that, 2 weeks ago, you and I were talking about having this challenge that we were going to get people to double dose their age pill.
Yes.
And we were going to have people get on and say, what symptoms, what changes did you notice when you doubled your, sorry, my dogs have been wanting to run in and out. So I got to make sure they go in and out when they need to go in or out, or I'll be cleaning up a mess on the floor. So, but here's what I noticed, Katie. I started taking a double dose of the age pill 2 weeks ago.
Oh, you started?
I did. And
what is your double? What?
12 a day.
12, right?
Yeah. So I started doing that 2 weeks ago, and here's what I noticed. That fatigue, that eye fatigue that I was having, where my eyes would go blurry, it's gone.
Yeah. Wow.
Well done.
I just realized that when you two were talking about vision, and all of a sudden I realized, hey, you know what? I don't get that eye fatigue anymore. It's been gone for about the last week.
Oh, wow. That's
Wow.
fantastic. And Curt, we're talking about doing the challenge. So on next week's call, we'll do perhaps a kickoff for the challenge, and we'll talk about the rules and how we're going to do it. But, we definitely want to encourage and invite everyone to participate in the challenge. And it's really easy. And that is to bump up to the 12 a day. Yeah, if they want to, and for 2 weeks, so that they can feel the difference from going to that single dose to a double dose. And it's just phenomenal how it makes you feel. We've been talking earlier before this call about how some of the ingredients, I love the L5 hydroxytryptophans in there. So that's really good for mood and boosting, how you feel. So it's just such a great product. So I'm really excited to be doing
the 5-hydroxytryptophan. It's a precursor for serotonin, and serotonin is the feel-good chemical in your brain. So yeah. And combine that with the, you can't see that. It looks like a clear bottle. It's a ghost bottle. But that's my Sisel Sport. And Sisel Sport combined with the age pill, combined with the Sisel Thin, it also works together to get those neurotransmitters balanced out. I notice that when I take the Sisel Sport, I just feel calmer.
Yeah. Wow.
But talking about other products, other products that we take, the Sisel Ripped, what a great product.
Oh, yes.
I'm very proactive in anti-aging. I want to live to be 110. And a buddy of mine last week, we got in a little bit of an argument, and he said, you're not gonna live to be 110. He said, and I said, well, if I had your attitude, I certainly wouldn't live to be 110, right? And I said, but I have a goal, and that's what I want to do. I might live longer. And he said, if you look at at statistics, people aren't living that long. I said, well, actually they are. I said, according to Time magazine, how many years ago was that Time magazine had the picture of the Gerber baby? It looked like the Gerber baby on the front cover, and it said this baby could actually live to be 140. How many years ago did that article come out? I remember I was in Oklahoma. I was traveling across Oklahoma. I did a presentation, a Sisel presentation in Oklahoma, and that's when that magazine came out. And according to the experts then, they said that year was probably the year that the first person to live to be 140 was born that year.
Wow.
And then Aubrey de Grey, he came out within 2 years after that. And he, Aubrey de Grey, I mean, Katie, I know you know who Aubrey de Grey is. Ian, you know who he is? And Geurt. Yeah. So Aubrey de Grey is like probably one of the greatest iconic figures in anti-aging. He's got he looks like Father Time. But anyhow, he said the first person to live to be 250 years has probably already been born.
Wow. Well, and I was just looking down at my phone because we were talking about life expectancy. So just a couple comments there is one that how long you live, the major factor contributing to how long you live, or one of the key major factors, I won't say the only one, obviously, is making a decision to how long you want to live. That's number one. So you've already decided, Curt, and I've made a decision too. So I'm always throwing out the 120. In fact, it's on the dream board behind me, and I've put that at least. But interestingly, it says that here, and I was just reading down on my phone. So the life expectancy for a female has increased to 85.3 years. So it depends where you read it. And for men, I think it was 79. There's a good 5-year difference between life expectancy for men and women, which is why there should be no problem if someone's a little bit older, especially if they're female, because male, they need to be older, because the female's always going to last, not always. Females on average do last longer than men, probably because they go to the doctor more and look after themselves a bit better. But that was really interesting. And Curt, it made me think of an article I sent you. My friend was reading it out to me, a new discovery that Sinclair was talking about, and that they've figured out that they could actually flip a switch in the genes and get all the cells in the body to behave as if they were when they were young again.
Oh.
So yeah, and I sent that article to you, and now you'll have to go back and look at it because you'll think, what article is that? So this is a further discovery on top of all the great stuff he's already discovered, right? He's talked about resveratrol, which of course we've got in Eternity, and he's talked about, you know, boosting NAD, which of course is why we take the age pill. So he's talked about all those great things, but in this particular article, he's talking about the new information about actually flipping those switches and getting the cells just to behave young again. Because what people don't realize is that aging, you know, of getting disease and illness is mainly because you're getting older, cells are wearing out. So the treatment for aging or age-related diseases is getting younger. So if you can get younger, you'll eliminate a lot of those diseases, right? So
that's right. So in the end, we got to worry about the brain, right?
Yeah.
Because if we're living to be 120, but your brain has degenerated, it's shrunk in size because your brain actually shrinks in mass as you get older, then you've got a problem. And so the National Institutes of Aging, this was again, some research that I read, you know, National Institutes of Aging, this isn't some hokey malokey type stuff. This is real stuff and real science. The National Institutes of Aging, they said that muscles are related to brain size.
Wow.
If you can keep your muscles from degenerating, if you can keep your muscles from not bulking, I mean, you know, I'm not talking about muscle heads and things like that. But what I'm talking about is that if you allow your muscles to start degenerate, what happens is your brain says, hey, this guy's dying. We don't need to keep his brain functioning anymore. So all of a sudden your muscles are degenerating. Your brain says, hey, we're dying, and it starts to dissolve and makes the brain shrink. So the National Institutes of Aging said that that they needed to work on getting the body to rebuild muscle, constantly tearing down, rebuilding, tearing down, rebuilding. And so that's where the RIP product, the Sisel RIP product is so important, because what it does is it turns that switch back on, like Katie's talking about. It turns the switch back on, because at our age, our three guys, at our age, what happens is that switch gets turned off because your body's already decided you're getting older. You don't need that muscle. And so you start to lose muscle mass. I think it's like 10% per year, muscle mass. Look at older guys. All of a sudden you start seeing that they've shrunk in size. Their shoulder size is shrunk. They're bigger at the bottom than they are at top. They're not the, you know, Johnny Bravo. You ever watch that cartoon with your kids, Johnny Bravo? He's shaped like a triangle, you know, big on top, small waist, like that. All of a sudden, you know, when you get older, you start looking like this. Your triangle is flipped upside down. And so we want to keep that Johnny Bravo look, right? Big wide shoulders, small waist, like this, right? And Sisel RIP helps do that. $25 million worth of research went into that product. We didn't put the research in it. Sisel didn't put $25 million worth of research. And I can make these claims. This is the product that we can make claims on, because there's $25 million worth of research into that exact product. And we're using that product. We're using that science that the National Institutes of Aging, Dr. Wolf, he put all this research into that, so we can actually make those medical claims. And so we can keep that muscle tearing down, rebuilding, tearing down, rebuilding. And that's what keeps your brain function going. So there's another one of my favorite products.
Great product. I just ran out of that, you know, recently. I've been taking that every day, and then, you know, I've got so many Sisel products, like all of us do. And then I'd run out and I thought, oh no, I'll see if I can, you know, can I get by without it? And then I've just really started to notice I'm not recovering as well from the exercise that I'm doing. I'm not recovering as quickly. And I thought, I really do enjoy it. I get kind of cravings for it almost. And it's like, then I went back and had another look at the ingredients and how great they were. And then of course, quickly jumped back online and placed another order for it, so it's on its way. So I'm hanging out for that to arrive, because like what you said, one of my big things is maintaining muscle mass as you age. You know, the use it or lose it kind of thing starts to happen. I
bought 2 bags of it. I just had 2 bags sitting on my counter, and I was gone last weekend. And when I was gone, my son came over and took both bags. I just so I got to order more too, or I'll run out.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we've gone a little bit over today, but it's been great having Geurt on, and thank you, Ian. We're so pleased that you could jump on.
Thank you.
I found the time. I get so busy some days. I think, oh no, I've got customers and people and consultations to do, and I miss out. And today I was free, and I thought, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
Well, and then here we are. I grabbed you and I snapped you in, and I said,
yeah.
You know, and I don't know why I couldn't get Roz onto the panel. I tried to get you onto the panel, Roz, but it wouldn't go. I think you were clicking no on the invite. You know, but anyhow, maybe next week. Okay?
She's very shy.
She's shy. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks, Ian. Thanks, Geurt. Thanks,
Thank
Roz.
you. That was good.
Yeah.
Thank you too.
I appreciate everybody being on the call. And
Roz said you didn't ask.
I did. I kept hitting the
Yeah,
invite.
I thought you did. Yeah.
Same
You know,
time
you can pre-ask though. That's okay.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
We'll get you on next week, Roz. Okay. Thanks, everyone. If you're listening to the recording, get back to the person that got you the recording. Thank you. Thank them. And just, you know, think about the products. You know, if you're not taking these, what are you taking?
Yeah.
You know, that's the question. That's the real question you should be asking. If you're not taking Sisel products, what are you taking?
Mm.
Thanks,
Absolutely.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good day.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.
See you all.